Good day, students. I welcome you to yet another interesting study session, which is study session 5, and it will discuss interpersonal relationship in nursing. Moving to the introduction, an interpersonal relationship is a strong, deep, or close association or acquaintance between two or more people that may range in duration from brief to enduring. And this association may be based on influence, love, solidarity, regular business interactions, or some other type of social commitment. Interpersonal relationships are formed in the context of social, cultural, and other influences. In this study session, you will be introduced to the basic concept of interpersonal relationship in nursing. At the end of this study session, you should be able to define nursing and highlight the roles of a nurse. You should be able to describe the phases of interpersonal relationship, and you should be able to discuss the relevance and importance of interpersonal theory and nursing process. Nursing. Nursing is the protection, promotion, and optimization of health and abilities, prevention of illness, and the care of ill, disabled, and dying people. It is a significant therapeutic interpersonal process. It functions cooperatively with other human processes that makes health possible for individuals in the community. What are the roles of a nurse? A nurse is a stranger that receives the client in the same way one meets a stranger in other life situations and provides an acceptable climate that builds trust. A nurse must be a teacher who imparts knowledge in reference to a need or interest. A nurse must be a resource person who can provide the specific needed information that aids in the understanding of a problem or new situation. You can also be a counselor that help to understand and integrate the meaning of current life circumstances by providing guidance and encouragement to make changes. There are some additional roles of a nurse like technical expert, being a consultant, being a health teacher and a tutor, socializing agent, safety agent, manager of environment, mediator, administrator, researcher, and so on. There are many roles of a nurse. Caring and nursing. Caring is nursing and nursing is caring. The concept of caring in nursing was a subject of intense interest in the latter decades of the 20th century. Caring is nursing since it is about the provision of comfort, concern, support, development of trust, and the alleviation of stress. Interest in conceptualizing and defining the concept of caring is seen as human trait, a moral imperative, an affection, interpersonal interaction, therapeutic intervention, in order to bring caring into the real world and away from abstract conceptualization. Caring practice can be described in several ways, to include the helping role, the teaching coaching functions, diagnostic and patient monitoring functions, administering and monitoring therapeutic interventions, and regimens. Let's look at communication styles. Well-practiced communication techniques alone are ineffectual if the central notion of interpersonal connection goes unacknowledged. The primary factor in the nursing context is the relationship between nurse and patient, co-worker or carer. We are unlikely to communicate without some form of relationship, whether through an information leaflet or poster, where there's an intention to relate to persons who may or may not be known, or be physically being close to a person in a bed or chair who is in need of support to prevent suffering. In this light, there are two different communication styles. We have the biomedical and the biopsychosocial. The biomedical concentrated on giving specific information on details concerning the patient's condition and her information focused. The biopsychosocial style is identified as patient-centered communication, and this style had a more demonstrable impact on patient outcomes. What are the phases of interpersonal relationship? There are 4 phases. The orientation phase. It starts when the patient meets a nurse as a stranger. The patient seeks assistance, conveys needs, and asks questions. They share preconceptions and expectations of past experiences. The nurse also responds by explaining roles to clients, helps to identify problems, and to use available resources and services in helping the patient out. At the identification phase, you have to select appropriate professional assistance, making patients begin to have a feeling of belonging and the capability of dealing with the problem, which decreases the feeling of helplessness and hopelessness. The next phase is the exploitation phase, and this phase makes use of professional assistance for problem-solving alternatives. The advantages of services used are based on the needs and interests of the patient. The individual feels as an integral part of the helping environment. The principles of interview techniques must be used in order to exploit, to understand, and adequately deal with underlying problem. Nurse must be aware about the various phases of communication in order to aid the patient in exploiting all avenues of help and progress is made towards the final step. And the last step is the resolution phase, where there's termination of professional relationship and the patient needs have already been met by the collaborative effort of patient and the nurse. Now, they need to terminate their therapeutic relationship and dissolve the links between them. Sometimes it may be difficult for both as psychological dependence persists. Patient drifts away and breaks bond with nurse, and healthier emotional balance is demonstrated and both become mature individuals. What are the characteristics and limitations of interpersonal theory? Both interpersonal theory and nursing process use problem-solving techniques for the nurse and patient to collaborate on, with the end of purpose of meeting the patient needs. Both use observation, communication, and recording as their basic tools utilized by nursing. The characteristics of interpersonal theory includes interrelation of concepts. The four phases interrelate the different components of each phase. Also, applicability. The nurse-patient interaction can apply to the concept of human being, health, environment, and nursing. Theories must be logical in nature. This provides logical, systematic way of viewing nursing situations. Then generalizability. It provides simplicity in regards to the natural progression of the nursing-patient relationship. There are some limitations to these interpersonal theories, and it includes personal space consideration and community social service resources are considered less. Also, health promotion and maintenance were less emphasized. Also, it cannot be used in a patient who doesn't have a felt need, like withdrawn patient, unconscious patients. And there are some areas that are not specific enough to generate hypotheses. What are the importance of interpersonal relationship to nursing? Without proper relationship between patient and nurse, the cares which are given to the patient by the nurse will not be effective and will not get a particular result in doing that. The relevance of interpersonal relationship to nursing includes helping to maintain the ability to successfully communicate, interact, and socialize in public. Good interpersonal relationship among employees in an organization can help attain organizational objectives within a specific period with accuracy and effectiveness. It also encourages deriving maximum output from, and it helps a patient to feel a sense of belonging. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.